We are live. Whoa, not yet. Well, now we are. We are live. Wait. 1 second. 1 second here. We are live. We are live. We are indeed live. Alright, so we're gonna play rapid games, as always. Everything is good here. Everybody could hear me. Everything is okay. Alright, here we start. We start. We cannot find opponents. Nothing unusual. 1 year ago. Okay, that's fine. What to do? Alright, e6. e3, that's novelty early on. That's a novelty. He's supposed to play a3 against a6, I suppose. b5. You want to play centralize. e4, yeah. Bishop b7, you attack. Everything is okay, okay. e3, so f3 is very typical. You want to defend on e4. We could take here. Knight f6, we develop pieces. d5. There's also queen b3. It's knight c6 here, knight e5. Let's go for it. Let's go for it. Bishop e7, he could castle, we could also castle. It's a game, it's a game. Queen b3 is knight e5, queen bishop e2. So if we play here, check knight d4 maybe. e5, he takes, we take. We're gonna give it a try. You could push, we could check in between moves, and knight d4. So if he takes, we take with the bishop. Everything is good. Everything is good here. You don't want to take with the pawn. It's possibly a little bit of a loose pawn, double pawns out of nowhere. So you may just take it with the bishop. Knight e2 is possible, yes. He wants to play here. He wants to attack the bishop. He knows what he's supposed to be doing. Okay, so if we play bishop c5, it's b4, which may lose a critical tempo because of bishop b2. e5 is under attack. So we want to be careful where we put the bishop. Maybe bishop b6, d6. I'm actually a little bit concerned that he plays d6 himself. So maybe bishop b6. I guess if he plays d6, we take... we take on bishop c7. Like something like here, bishop c7. So we protect the pawn, we attack the queen. So bishop b6 makes a lot of sense here. So d6, if he doesn't play d6, we could play d6. Possible. What else does he have? Bishop g5. Bishop g5, h6. He plays here, yeah. Predicted he could do this. He doesn't want to take. That's also a smart move. But we could do here. And if here, bishop c6. So we could still play... He's trying to play this, actually, which is a smart move. But I think here it's h6. So maybe forcing an exchange, or he could go down here. So he wants to play here, h6. We could take... I mean, double pawns here is not the greatest. Not the greatest idea, but g5 here, knight h5. Only me, I could play things like this. g5, knight h5. So we don't. I don't not like this pin at all. I mean, that's one of the reasons why I play g5. I'm not enjoying this pin. So maybe here, queen e7. May have to play like something like here. He plays bishop d5. I could take, he wants to take, takes, queen takes. The real question is, do I want to get rid of this knight? Probably, so we could have queen e6. He takes, here, queen e6. He's not gonna take, he just gonna play something like here and bring the other rook over here. So you could put your rooks in good squares. That's actually how you're supposed to be doing it. This game is very complex though, because let's say we exchange everything, who comes on top? Is it black or is it some kind of like a draw? Some kind of a draw. Okay, let me see one thing. I just want to check. Everything looks okay here. Oh, what I'm doing. All right. All right. That's better. Everything looks good now. All right. Wait, is it frozen? Oh, nothing is frozen. Okay, looks good. All right, everything looks good. I was just checking something from my end. All right, so he plays this move, right? We predicted he's gonna do this. The real question is what black would do. Like the next move is around rook a c1. Good question to ask. I think I could trade queens. Rook takes. You don't want to take with a pawn. That would be laughable. So where I need my rooks, do I play here rook b5? This is actually a good idea. So we attack on b2, rook b5. I mean, he may still play here, but I could still take because of the bishop. He plays here. That's actually interesting. So rook b5. Should he takes, we take. He may play rook c1. Bishop b8. This is incredible ending. Like it's not. I'm not even sure if this is good or bad for black. You know, you need to remember that ending games, it's all about activity. Sometimes you could be down a pawn, but if you're very active, you never know, you could win. You could win ending games down a pawn, assuming you're really active. It depends on the position, of course, right? You could sometimes you're down a pawn, it doesn't matter. So rook d3, he's not trading, which is a smart move. So I could play here and rook c8. I'm trying to get rook c8, but it's difficult. Maybe bishop here. If he takes, rook d1, rook c8 with idea of rook c6. Does this a4 is playable? We could take here. He moved his bishop. Bishop d4. I think I got this one covered. So he cannot take on d6 because the bishop is hanging. If he plays here, we'll play bishop d4. And then we could claim something that maybe black may have something here. May pre-move, rook takes b6. I don't think he's going to take though. And the real question is what he's going to do. I think he took, which is a little bit interesting. So if he plays here, I could play here. He cannot take here, takes. Rook c1 is mate. So this is actually the one drawback. In this position, so he could play here or here and then attack d6. So the idea for me is here, bring the king on e7. It's still maybe draw actually, but then it's black that may push. So we bring here. He could still have, he has 2 for 1 here, which is interesting. It's not enough, but he's looking for things like this. You can still play here. All right, we could attack the pawn. Would love to see rook e1, rook e5. Okay, so rook c2. Rook c2 is rook d5 here, here. Maybe that's a neat idea. So he cannot play here, rook takes g2. So it's all about activity now. Greetings, welcome. Nice country though, nice country. How is Sinners doing? Isn't he from Italy too? Like he was leading. He's playing the tennis championship against what was his name again? Wow, I forgot. I know he's Spanish. Alright, so we are trying to play here and then bring the other rook on c2. I mean, if I'm able to get this one, this idea, that would be huge. Because rook e2 is like, you know, he's gonna defend, maybe it's rook d3, rook d3, and then if we go here, we have something to claim. Because, you know, he might have to worry about mates, not so much about the pawns. And this move is big. Ah, he won? Nice, nice. Congrats! He won. It's rook e2. He might... I wonder if he could do like rook d2, like try to exchange one pair of rooks. Like this kind of ending, even rook c3. He could still be passive for like one or two moves, but he could still defend. So he plays here. I don't understand this move. So this is like a pass pawn. I could take rook takes rook e2. I mean, this is easy to... We could go here. We are still within the plan. So he's being passive here, so rook here, but he might still be fine. King here. I mean, d5 is a move. He's not allowing it. And if you play rook d2, he's a takes, rook e1. That's crazy stuff. So maybe we need a tempo. Some kind of a tempo, like f6. So now it's his move. What he's gonna do, like here? And then we take the pawn. It's all about the tempos. Okay, he plays here. So he could play now here, avoiding him from coming over here. I mean, I probably had d5, but I mean, he's again. So d5. So the point of d5 is we want him to take. I have to be careful where I have to go. King e7. I was about to play king f7, but king e7. The point of d5 is simple. Is we want him to trade, and then we have a pass pawn. d7 becomes a pass pawn. And he's still very passive, so he wants to play e4. That's actually like a good idea. So maybe I could play here d5, put my king on g6. This is actually has to be good for black. I mean, it's probably winning. So we put on g6. Maybe g7 was better, but we'll see. Yeah, g7 was better. We could do maybe here. We're surrendering this. He might not see it though. He could move his rook, but then he moved the rook. And then rook e1. Actually, you may have to try rook e1. Then he's meeting with this one. This maybe still be draw somehow. Let's see. He could still play e7. That's a complicated game. Takes some kind of rook e2. So I have at least a draw, but the real question is, I'm gonna bet my king to g3 this check. So if I play here, it's a check on g8. Yeah, I need my king on g7. I think it was key move to have the king on g7. If I go here, does the rook move somewhere? And maybe he plays rook e1. Because the rook e1 would be a mistake. Because here, and then rook h1, we go from behind. Yeah, he's not going to make this mistake. He goes back. That's actually the issue. Wait, that's a blunder, actually. I could take on rook h1. Huh. Wow. That's a blunder, folks. Yeah, he had a way out. He just have to go back. You just go back, you don't... Could he go back? That's actually it. There was a way to draw this, but... This is winning, of course. Pawns are moving fast. They're moving really fast. I mean, which pawn are you gonna stop? They all like moving. They all moving all across. They all moving. Pick one. Pick one to win. We still have here, so there's no stalemates. No stalemates here. Hey, how's it going, Henry? How's it going? So this is winning all across. It doesn't matter how I do it. So here, and the pawns is just gonna promote rook e1. Yeah, so now here and this d2. Resignation is not happening. Resignation happened. So it's a draw around here. I felt like it was a draw, not a win for me. Around here. Yeah, it's so when you play rook e2, it's king g1. That's actually the idea. I don't have rook takes c7, right? Because the rook is hanging. That's the point of king g1. So, and I cannot let this pawn go to e8. And that's the reason why it's a draw. There's a weird computer line here. I actually saw it, but it's really heavy. It's like, I don't know, it's like really incredible move. The computer is suggesting this move, so you could promote. I could see why it's suggesting this, but it actually turns out to be a draw. You have like tons of pawns for the rook. I'm not sure if I should be playing this one, like f5. But, you know, sometimes these positions could be playable. Like, I mean, if your pawns are really fast, if they are already on this rank maybe, you could play this. You could play this for a win, not even a draw. But the pawns are still slightly, like after rook e5, they're still not fast enough of, you know, moving, like d6, and he could just start slowing you down. So this is actually a draw. So it's funny that even if he goes for this, I could have played rook takes h3, but any other line is actually a draw. So it's king, yeah, so this is actually a blunder because of, you know, just like for the reasons I did it during the game. Good game though, good game. We continue. Have you ever seen Made in 16? Yes. Yeah, it was clear because it has to be like it has to be like the board. It's some kind of like an end game, like the board is clear, so you could see it. Or there's a massive attack where you eliminate the pieces as much as possible, and you could see something like that. Yeah. There's one game I had to find like made in 24 by forced. It's a draw or like made in 24, I think, and it wasn't clear because it was like a middle game struggle. And how could I see 20? It's not even obvious. Like you look at the position, it's not an obvious mate. Like you could still attack, but it's not like an obvious mate. And then the game was dead drawn. Like, how is it? The computer was like, you have to find the mate on 24, or the game is completely drawn. It was funny that I could not find it. I did not find it. But my opponent blunder, which I still won the game. So before, this is a wing gambit that I've been playing. It's actually a wing gambit through the French. So you could still play the wing gambit with the French, Sicilian, and also the Caro. Bishop d7, that's a funny move. You can still play it, but it's funny. c3, d4, bishop e5. D4, bishop d3, bishop e3. There's knight a3. There's a lot of moves. What to do? Bishop e5. Let's play this. Bishop d3, castles. What is queen b6? Feels awful move though. Queen b6? Bishop is like almost trapped on e5. So bishop d3, knight c6, castles. Still feels like queen b6 is off. I mean, he has plenty of moves like knight e7, knight c6. Queen b6 just doesn't really add up very well. There's also bishop e3, which... Bishop e3 is probably annoying because it's controlling this this diagonal. Like, he would never have an easy time like castling, I mean. But I could still play it like after bishop d3, something like here, like a bishop e3 in this specific order. He may actually want to do this. Maybe this is his plan, though. Maybe this is actually the point of queen b6. So maybe it's here. If here we could castle, we could still play bishop e3. I mean, I'm assuming this move is, yeah. This is the point of queen b6. I'm not sure if I like what I'm seeing, though. Like, I don't know if this is actually a good move by him. I could castle and take, and then we still play bishop e3. The bishop on e5 is like awful though. I mean, I don't know why he's doing this. So at the very least he could do knight e7, he could castle, but I feel like this is still not like a good play for black. I guess this is a point. All right, we play here. You could castle even anywhere. What about this move? So if he goes here, we take g6, weakening up the king. We go here. Who's running mate? You probably need this move, right? But the bishop is attacking the rook. Knight f5 is same thing, bishop takes. g6, weakening up the king. And then we could shift ideas like queen h3 and h5. Now things are being exposed. And then you wonder what is bishop e5 is doing and queen b6 is doing. So still going for the mate. g4. You cannot take, there's still mate on h7. Maybe king g7, but this feels like iffy though. I mean, there's maybe queen f3, he may have missed that. Oh, maybe he wants to play knight f5. That's a move. Knight f5. Knight f5 is a move. Alright, you want to play knight f5? You play knight f5. We are attacking here, so takes... Is it king takes? Oh, that's gonna be funny. King takes? Because if pawn takes this, knight takes e6. And again, he's still in trouble. King takes, unbelievable. Unbelievable stuff here. If I play here and I sacked rook g1, I mean, this has to be some mating ideas here. This is mate in 16, Henry. It should be mate in 16. The type of positions where you may have some mates. I mean, this one is like maybe obvious because the king is exposed. That's actually what makes it easy. So if king here, he takes rook g1. Some kind of rook g4 and queen h3 should be mate. Does he has this move? Let's see it. Rook h5. I mean, this diagonal is huge. I mean, this may contribute to the mate on 16. You know, the king is like like I don't know, rook h4. Wow, what is this move? Rook h4 is like really shocking to me. I mean, now rook g1 is like crazy good. I mean, he wants to play here. This is not part of the plan. Then what's next? What is next? Yeah, wow, really? And here, this is awful stuff. He have mating ideas. Still have rook takes h2 mate. I mean, it almost feels like knight f1 takes care of business here. Knight takes e6. He has this crazy move. Actually, king h6. Here, king h6, which is funny. But then, if that's the case, we could take on f5. This rook takes cannot take on h2. So if knight takes e6, here we take with the bush check. What's next? Yeah, that's delusional stuff here. King takes g6. I mean, you don't play this kind of stuff. I think the mistake is really bishop e5. He's supposed to play like there's plenty of moves. I mean, even bishop c5, but you don't want to walk into like d4. I mean, you can still allow it. You can still play bishop c5, d4, bishop e6. And then when you play bishop e3, knight e7, it's a completely different position. It's not the same. The queen is still beyond d8. He doesn't want a rematch, understandable, so I understand why. He doesn't want to get mated in 16 again. What a username. 24 hours? No, I mean, that's a risky business. 24 hours. We don't know. We don't know if this is Stockfish or Magnus. It's probably a combination of both. One year, that's fine. Is this the same guy? No, it's somebody else. Somebody else. E4. All right, knight f3. We are a fan of the gambit. C5. B4. E3. I think the wing gambit with the French is probably more annoying though than the Sicilian. D4. Wow, that's an interesting move. I guess if I take, he doesn't want a C3 here. We play bishop C4. That's a square that we could control. We stop in queen D5, by the way. That's one of the moves. So castles. The reason maybe it's more annoying the French because you know the French defense bishop on c8 is like tough to develop. And once you do this exchange, you sacrifice, not exchange, you sacrifice. And it could be really annoying, but you can still defend. I mean, any gambits are defendable. Like, you know. No. Goldsmiths, no. 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 Yeah, there's some openings I may not remember, like, you know, maybe the name is off. Like, I was playing some opening yesterday, like H3 move 1 in my Twitch channel. And it tells me it's like limits opening. Like, I have never heard about this name before. Like H3 and E3. It tells me this is the legitimate opening name. I was shocked when I saw that because I didn't expect it. It's like some kind of rubbish, you know? And it does have a name. You could play knight here. A6 is still knight b5, but we may take with the bishop, actually. So the idea is he takes, knight takes, we may have knight b5. If we could put a knight on d6, the potential of mates increases. We could take a knight e3 anyway. By the way, a6 is still knight b5. That's actually the issue. The rook at e1. Rook at e8 is not defended. There must be a way he could defend, though, against knight b5. Maybe, it's as funny as it sounds, maybe knight e7. So knight b5 is like queen takes c4. I mean, and then this move is tough to make because you want to put the other knight on e7, right? You don't want to go backwards. Or knight e5. That's also another move. The only difference between two moves, maybe I still have some ideas like bishop e5. Bishop e5, should he take, it's still knight takes b5, and maybe e5 could be hanging in some line. So here maybe rook d8. That's maybe, but d4 might be hanging. Sodium, yeah. I mean, I created an opening with knight a3. I actually created my own opening. It's called the maneuver opening. That I could play it next game. It's actually through the sodium attack, but it's my own lines after that. I don't go with the sodium. I think the sodium is knight a3 and then you play c4. So what makes the sodium attack, which is, I'm not sure what kind of attack they're talking about, but anyways, like cozy attack and iwi attack and sodium attack. And then you look at the position, you just feel, you see passive play, not even any kind of attack. But anyways, I created my own like lines after, like, instead of if I play c4, I play different stuff. And there's a reason why I called it the maneuver, because I do maneuver my knight on a3 to e1 and then knight d3. We could play it next game if we have an opponent. Queen takes. So we could go here, and if knight c6, maybe knight c4, queen d5. We may be trying to get to d6 somehow. Alright, we could try it. The problem with black, he's not really developed, completely developed. You don't want to play this now, this rook takes d4. So this is maybe the reason why he goes to c6. So knight c6, knight c4, queen d5, queen e2, defending both pieces. There's also d3. We may still be heading toward d6 somehow. Yeah, I haven't played it in a while. The video is actually on my YouTube video. It's my YouTube channel, like the here. But yeah, I did practice playing the opening. Yeah, I created my own lines actually, like some kind of side lines. I haven't played it in a long time, but I should be back to do it. Maybe it's time to do the maneuver opening after this game. And I tried to do it with black, but it's not the same. It's not the same with black, you know. Here, maybe some f6 action. I mean, my concern is some f6. Especially now after rook d8. So, we need to. Putting extra protection on. We'll see. Still heading toward d6 though, but... Rook on e4, maybe it's good or maybe it's bad. We would know. We would know in a couple of moves. I mean, maybe I have to play crazy game now. Maybe it's some kind of knight g5, rook f4. Now that he's not developed his pieces. I mean, if he plays knight e7, there's an argument to be made that knight d6, knight f5, and we have a mess of a position, takes rook f4. It almost feels like we are playing checkers and bingo to combine together and not chess. It's gonna be a weird game. There's some kind of a6 pass pawn, down a pawn. He played here, which is equivalent to knight e7 actually. You can still play here. f6. Oh, nice. White background, yeah. Oh wow, we could do this? Wow, I actually missed this move. I missed it. He could do this with idea if he taking on d6. Yeah, maybe I should have hold on a little bit more. A little bit more. This is gonna be fascinating. Rook takes d4. And not looking good. Yeah, knight took c5. Looking away from the board, yeah. It's... Wow, I have nothing though. Rook takes here, takes queen c7. That's not... It's not ideal. Queen f4. Alright, let's do this. Oh, that's not ideal though. I mean, I'm counting on some kind of an attack that is, it would never come, but not now and not 20 years from now. We'll see. Down 2 pawns and the situation is, yeah, I should have probably played, slow playing the position, like maybe, I could even do knight g5 instead of knight d6. The point of knight g5 is putting some extra protection. I mean, extra attack on f7, and then some kind of rook f4. So when I do knight d6, he may not have this move as easily as easily. But now it's only issue for black is the king is on f8. The knight is sitting on h6. Soon to be at f4. f5. But he played f5 here, which is... I don't understand this move. Knight c4? So the queen defends c4. f5 is a weird move. Because I could take on e6. I could take... That's f5. It doesn't make any kind of sense here. I mean, and it's also the queen on e2 really helps because if the queen, let's say on d1, you could play queen c5 and the knight will be under attack along with the rook. So the queen being on e2 is a big asset, defending the knight on c4. Volume is okay because I'm actually like testing stuff with the volume. There's some echo in the past, so hopefully the volume is okay. Is it loud, medium? It should be okay. Okay, so at very least I have this move. This is actually part of the concern, and this maybe even knight d6, which may now... Yeah, I mean, the attack is huge. There's also some rook takes in some lines. I mean, let's say the queen goes to c7. They're still here, by the way. Knight f7 is still here. g6. So this move is real. Actually, maybe it's a big move. Takes, queen e7. This is playable. He's stopping this way, but he's not really stopping this way. So the point is queen e7, and then we take here. Sounds just right. Takes, queen e7. I mean, it's terrible. So this one does not really work. We just go back. Or you could also take. Yeah, I mean, the move maybe a knight f5 or something. And so the point of knight f5, g6, king g7, this kind of structure would have been like he could castle manually and get his knight at f5 in a better square. And then, you know, he has 2 pawns, like one of them we sacked. And the other one we lost, right? So there's no mate here. It should be mate coming in. This rook is goner. I mean, the whole thing is collapsing here. So this here. It's the whole thing is bad. Just have to watch out this b1. Yeah, I have to watch out for this. I see it. Because you don't want to get checkmated. So you don't want to take this because king takes. We are going it this way here. This has to be mate. I mean, I'm looking at mates here. This is mate. the rook comes in and the queen gets in on time. And there's actually easier maybe way to mate. Let me see. It's here. He goes here. Queen f3. So if we check here, it's here. This must be g4. This is a forced move. We try this so we don't need to get checkmated. So it takes. I play here, queen b1, king here. Yeah, takes on g4. So he doesn't have any defense. Queen c6, queen takes g4. The problem is here. One check. He has this move, but let's see. Check. Knight e5. And that should be it. We stop in queen f3. I mean, this has to be mate now. Queen g5. Queen g5. Mate. Mate, sir, mate. Rematch? No? Was made on 21. Made on 21. One year, okay. I'm having black. I used to play this. We could play it for fun, but this is equivalent to the sodium, but it's the sodium went bad. I don't know. When I play knight h6, I typically go for the modern, like g6. I mean, this is not incredibly bad. By the way, people could play d4. I mean, people could play d4, like d4, and I would still play here. And if you were to take, that's fun line. I mean, you give up the bishop pair early on just to ruin the pawns, especially near the king. But it turns out to be the computer may be not liking it 100%. I mean, a lot of people that when I used to play knight h6, they would take in a heart, like in a very fast fashion, assuming this is good for them. But I won a lot of games like this in the past. But it was e4 is a little bit different because I play g6, so it's almost like a modern defense, except the knight on h6 and not f6 or g8. So we could play normal chess, and typically here I usually play like f5, some kind of quick f5, and then in the right conditions, you know, which I'm not sure when, you could even play knight f7, justifying knight h6. So we could castle. Again, knight h6 is not where it belongs. I actually like bishop c4, and it could be a problem for me because I don't have f5. That's maybe we could play here. I mean, I'm trying to get him to play bishop d3, but he's gonna play here. So e5, e3. Nowhere to get d5 in. Not good here in c5. Here's d5. That's crazy. All right, we could play d6. That's fine. I mean, maybe bishop g4. So the idea is like we want to take on g4. I mean, queen takes. Oh, I cannot do it. Again, bishop takes is not. Yeah, the knight being on h6 is like a unique knight. You don't typically knight f6. You play bishop g4. It's typical in like the modern, the Perk But knight h6 is really funny. We could even try knight h8. King h8, I mean, king h8 with idea of f5. I mean, this is maybe the way to go, but he might try this. This is ambitious move. I mean, even against f5, e5. I guess maybe here in f5. So the idea is here takes f5, so we could, when it take and the right conditions, we could play knight f7 if we are able to do it. There's a lot of moves he could even do for this. He could go for this and queen d2. I don't like bishop e3 though. Like maybe it's pushing the limit, like from White's perspective, like what White is trying to do. Maybe bishop f4. The reason I don't like this move is knight g4. And so let's say bishop e3. You're justifying black play, knight g4. And if bishop f4, maybe knight f6. And maybe black is okay. Maybe, just maybe. H3, obviously he may be going for like, also the point of bishop e3, because I didn't finish, it's actually queen d2. If you're not really careful with h3, you may lose this knight. It's by default maybe winnable. This kind of stuff. So that he's trying to do it, like he's trying to get bishop e3, queen d2. And he's also stopping bishop g4, which is interesting stuff. That's interesting. All right, f5. I mean, this allows knight g5, and it's circus here. So obviously, if you were to take, it's knight takes, and then we might have the knight in a better square, and instead of a h6. He might do e5 though. This move is interesting. There's also who took. That's a big grab. Why did he take though? Is he considering g4? Like maybe he wants g4, the knight has to go back to h6. That's fine. Then knight g5. Okay. I mean, if he plays a bishop move like bishop e3, then it doesn't make sense what he's doing. Because obviously the knight now gets to f5. Better square than h6. So maybe he's counting on this one. And then I have to go back. But there are some tactics. Knight here. Okay. Not a fan of this move right away, but maybe d5. d4 is also hanging. Is it d4 hanging? Wow, it is hanging. Wow, this knight on h6, it plays a role. It went on h6, f5, and it may go to d4. And it's the funny part is actually stopping this. Maybe knight f7. Yeah, maybe that's what he's counting for. Yeah, there's this move. There's this move. Takes, and this he's up in exchange. So maybe it's d5. I mean, this move is very close. You cannot trap the bishop as e6. I mean, maybe e6. Bishop e3. Queen f6. It is very tempting to do this. Because if you win the bishop here, then it makes knight takes d4 a real move. So d5 would take on d4. Alright, d5. So we're stopping this. We're still attacking on d4. I mean, I don't mind knight e6. That's actually not a great move. Because takes, rook takes, knight takes d4. Now that's a big move for black. You win a central pawn, the knight, you know, take on b3. Then black is actually better here. Of a pawn, and he may have to do bishop e3, but I don't understand this whole thing though. I mean, if bishop e3, for example, I could even take, and he went back at f3. I could tell you why he went back. If he plays bishop e3 defending d4, you could just simply take, and let's say rook takes or pawn takes is e5. The knight will be under attack, and then black is getting initiative, like maybe even e4 after e5. He went back to f3 because he knows now d4 is a big problem, so he has to defend it this way. I mean, but still, we could put some pressure on it. So we could even play queen b6. So if knight e5, we could even take on d4. So queen b6, bishop e3. I mean, e7 is weak, but if you're able to win this one, that's key. We also connecting with the rook on f8. So this is a big deal. So he plays here, and this is actually good to see. We could play here. We have to develop the pieces here. I cannot really like delay. I mean, I could have took on e3, but it feels like he may be okay. Queen d2, yeah, queen d2. You want to move his bishop somewhere. So play here. I mean, he has to be careful moving his bishop because d4 will be under attack again. Knight e2, so maybe I could play b4. I'm just, you know, lining up for this. I don't know if I like what he's doing. It just feels like he's being passive here. Like move, you know, like he played knight g5, then went back to knight f3. I always tell my students and everybody, you don't want to go backwards. Like he went from knight g5 to knight f3. That's like a wasted move. You don't want to waste move in chess. I mean, wasting move could be the difference between winning or losing a game. So the fact that he went back and forth doesn't suggest that he's finding good ideas. So we could take back on b4. We're still lining up here. There's also knight takes e3. There's also e5. I mean, black is getting really active for no reason. Maybe knight f4? Maybe this is the only activity that he may have. Eyeing at e6. Makes sense to me, knight f4. We could take pawn takes. Because if queen takes bishop h6, may give it a try. Oh, rook takes is rook takes f4. So if queen takes, wow, he could take here. And knight on d7 is under attack. That's marvelous. Do I have e5 though? e5, knight e6. 6 here. That's impressive. Alright, let's do this. I don't know if it works. Knight e6. We could even take here. Maybe I didn't have to take on f4. I mean on e3. Maybe I had some defense, like maybe bishop h6, knight e6. Maybe we could even take. There may be some tricks where the knight goes back to g4, and once he takes on f8. Some tricky stuff here. I mean, I would be surprised if he takes here with a pawn, because actually this may be very tricky. Because maybe I could take here, pawn takes, knight takes, and then black's still very active with the bishops. I mean, if anything is knight takes. Knight takes here, we might be back to the same stuff though. So maybe knight e6. I mean, the position is complicated with 2 minutes. Maybe I should have played it a little bit solid, but it's okay. We could play dynamic positions or complicated positions. 96. Takes. So we attack the queen. If knight takes here, there's a rook here. So he doesn't have time for this. This is really incredible position. Maybe he comes on top after this. Hopefully not. We'll see. I'm assuming it's knight takes. Wow, he didn't even take. That's crazy. I mean, do I have rook takes? .95. And I'm playing with some activity, but this bishop. So 95, the point of knight takes f3. He doesn't have time for knight takes g7 here, so maybe king g2, and then maybe he's trying to take on g7. I mean, do I have here? This is probably the best move. Very strong game though. And knight takes here does not really help. Queen takes here, knight f3. Oh, you took. Okay. Okay, rook here. This is difficult though. Oh wait, there's mate here? Wow, I'm actually not seeing anything. Yeah, this is tough. This is indeed tough. Rook e7, so I could defend g7. There was a mate here. Yeah, he shuts down my my bishop, which is crazy. Not good. There's no compensation here. There's nothing here, which is crazy. One minute left. It doesn't matter with the clock. I mean, he took here. Okay. Oh, 96. He missed rook here in 96. I take c6. Whoa, whoa, hold on. d2. Wow, what? Yeah, I mean, he has to do it this way to save the game, but... Okay, where's this heading? Wow, what a game though. What the heck is happening here? Okay, the pawn is running though. I mean, I don't know, man. Pawn is running. It's probably a draw though. No, actually, you could take. No, bishop f3. Oh, I could have took the pawn. Oh, damn it. Wait, that's winning. Oh, gosh. What a game, though. I don't know, folks. The major blunder around here, the major blunder is around, I mean, there's like ways to win, not just one way for white. He made a huge blunder around here. I mean, first of all, like, this knight takes b4. And then the bishop's still covering d1. I mean, I couldn't understand what he's trying to do here. I mean, if knight takes b4, d2, bishop d1, and he's winning. He forgot when he plays bishop d1 that there's a major pin here, and that's a costly one. And I think maybe here maybe it's like black is back. Yeah, black is back after bishop b7. And it's a draw here, but it's, you know, actually here it's not a draw. Where is the draw here? It's king f3, king f3. Wow, that's actually the draw. So technically here and king e3, that's how you should play. Bishop f3 is actually terrible. It's probably because of the pawn. The d pawn. Yeah, so d2 and here and just bishop check and h5. All right, one more. Last game, but we need to have white so we could play this opening that I'm talking about. All right, so 93, that's technically starts with sodium. I mean, so when you play here, typically it's c4, it's sodium. I actually play d4 here, if I still remember. D4 is what I do? Yes, it's d4, yeah. So he takes, and if knight c6 is queen e4 and some kind of bishop g5. So I allow them to take here, which is fine. I mean, people sometimes would take here, but you know, it becomes, if we give it to the computer, it becomes like really like a messy kind of position. So knight c6 was a move. He didn't do it, but it's fine. Knight c6, queen h4, bishop d3. So this is actually no longer sodium. It's my opening after d4 technically. Like here, that's my own stuff. There's actually maybe knight d5 or something, maybe. Okay, that's interesting. Bishop d3 now. You have to be careful. This is actually bishop takes. So maybe h6, and maybe this move is necessary. It should be. Why is he doing this? Takes rook e8, knight e2. We could take. He had to play h6. So the pawn is now defended. So knight e2, and we could actually castle. Hey, white is okay, actually. There's also potential d5, believe it or not. The idea is here, maybe bishop takes. So here, bishop takes, here, and it becomes really wild. Knight takes, you're getting hit by queen takes, and then that connects with the bishops, right? So d5 is a threat. Maybe 95 though, 95. 95. Yeah, d5, 95. Not a threat yet. It's close. But I think h6 was a move. Like when you play getting hit by, like h6, it's such a safe move. Then even after bishop d3, this whole thing is it's easier to play. All right, so he plays bishop g4. Obviously, he's attacking e2. I think maybe f3 is necessary. If you play here, this bishop takes, and then it almost feels like some kind of queen e7. So f3, it's okay. We're also gaining a tempo. I mean, I'm not sure if I like what he's doing, but f3, it's like a tempo against a bishop, right? So he may have to move the bishop somewhere. Oh, he's taking here. Okay, that's... Did he work out a tactic that if he take here, his queen takes? That's marvelous. But what if I take on g4? Knight takes, bishop takes. Takes. There's also some crazy castle, but I think it's rook takes e2. Because if you take with the knight, I mean, let's say a castle take here, take with the knight, he takes, rook takes, this pawn takes, and then you still carry on the attack. But I think maybe it's just pawn takes. It's potential that this is good enough for white. Takes. I'm gonna take... Maybe he has some compensation, we'll see, but I don't think so. But I'm gonna take, unless I'm getting hit by rook takes e2. I don't think it works, but there's also like some nasty castle at some point. I mean, this has to be good for white, technically. Unless he's like, he has a move or two. I mean, even queen e7, or for example, let's say queen e7, I could still castle, like meaning that he takes on e2, and then bishop takes, rook takes f6 even. So, I mean, this is still good for white. Here's the opportunity for attack. Attack for who? But both sides. So yeah, even queen e7 is not good enough. Let's play here. Queen e3 check, king h1, takes on e2, rook takes, bishop takes. You're looking at some kind of mate. So even this line is good for white. If assuming I don't play queen f2. I think that's what he's going for, like here, queen f2, knight takes g4. He's counting for like, yeah, some kind of compensation here. Yeah, that's actually maybe the best he could do. The real thing is actually castling. He's also castling long, believe it or not. That could be an asset. Yeah, this one is knight takes g4. I'm not even sure, even after knight takes g4, if it's... Maybe knight a3 is annoying. Maybe that's the argument. Which castle makes sense? Oh, I have to castle this way. So rook takes. Yeah, as opposed to here. I don't want to take with the bishop, though. Like, I don't like bishop takes f6. I want to take with the rook. So this rook is... this bishop would be annoying. He might be able to defend, though. So here... Takes, rook takes. Here, takes... Is it queen e4? Let's dance. Maybe it's queen takes. Yeah, I forgot that rook, queen takes. Not bishop takes. So takes here, rook takes, queen takes. I mean, also bishop takes it works, but this is what he wants. This is exactly what he wants. Takes. So obviously, any check here, you're looking at rook f2. So if I play bishop here, it's queen e4, assuming that queen g5 is queen g6, and he may be able to defend this one. But queen takes f6 is more direct because you're looking at mates in two squares. It's still king f8. Wait, there's some kind of mate here? A background mate for me? Check. Oh. That's... No, we're covering it. Yeah, if queen here, maybe queen e3, that's a draw, actually. Because there's queen e1. I don't think queen f1 is a good idea. So if you take here, there's no mate. Check here. You don't have queen e1, but if he plays here. That's the reason why you have to be careful with an attack. Queen takes f6 would force a draw if he wants to take it, which he will. Alright, we're gonna take bishop takes. Queen e4. He doesn't have the mate, right? The queen is on e1. I'm still here. Hey, welcome in. Welcome in. Queen e4, rook f1, queen g6. I don't have time for rook f5. I would love to have h3 in here, but still. So the moves I'm looking at, queen e4, rook f1, queen g6, rook f5. He doesn't have rook e1 still here. The point is rook here, but yeah, that's actually the point. Rook e4. He wants to bring the other rook in. That's a plan. H3 now. He has to be careful though. I don't know if I like what he's doing. He missed his opportunity with queen e4. I mean, let's say he plays rook e8. I still have some attack. It's not like I don't. Like once I play rook f1, maybe rook f5. That's a huge move. You don't have the queen to defend as properly as he thinks. Yeah, the queen has to stay on e4. So he could have played queen e4, queen g6, and then get to play rook e4 and then rook e8. That plan would have been interesting. Maybe rook f1, rook f5. This is huge. And he feels like... But it's the same plan. I mean, I could still do it right now. He plays here. He's still convinced this is still good. Maybe rook e6. Play here. So even he cannot play queen e2. This queen g5. He may be looking for things like this, maybe. And maybe some kind of sack. But it's not easy, though. It's not an easy... So I have to be careful with this one, because this is queen e1. This is trade of queens. A trade of queens here would be good for black, of course. So rook c4. He's still lining up for rook f5, queen e1. He's looking for an attack himself. Okay, that's fine. That's fine with me. So if I play king h2, rook takes c2, rook f5. Does he has here? Probably not. We both are technically attacking after rook here, rook f5. This one does a free sack. There's also rook f5 is huge. I actually see a weird, interesting tactic is queen takes. Oh no, that doesn't work. I was looking at rook h5, king g6. He's not gonna go back to mate him on h8. So this rook f5 is not really threatening this. It's close, but it's rook g5. So rook f5, rook g5. I'm surprised that he didn't do rook e6. I mean, he figured that, you know, white is frozen here. Like, you cannot play queen g5. I'm not. I mean, white is not frozen. And if he goes back to queen e4, it's a little bit, it's too late, right? Because of rook f5. And then queen g5 is huge. That's actually the mate. Does he has like h6 maybe? That's maybe one way. Queen d6. Hmm. Two minutes. Rook f5, queen d6. That's actually pretty annoying. Because here is queen d1. Queen d1. Rook e2. I'm trying to play here, but rook e2 actually is a problem. Did I screw this one up somehow? I mean, maybe I did. Rook e2. Rook takes c2. What the heck is happening here? That's... Yeah, I mean, he has queen d6 after rook f5. Okay, that's a new move. Did not expect he would do this. This queen d8. He had to take over c2. Why queen f4? This move is huge. Stopping it. For 13 seconds. I mean, it doesn't get better than this. Rook e1. Yeah, he trades. Finds a way to trade somehow. It's lost. It's lost. Oh gosh. Just about any move wins. It's lost. Play here. Yeah, so the problem was around here. Let's see what the computer is suggesting. Yeah, he was winning here. Oh, bishop e1. But anyways, here... Oh, rook f5. So this is a draw, yeah, maybe queen d6. Maybe I could have won for a draw, queen d6. Yeah, so this is actually a draw. I mean, I was looking for a win. I knew this is like queen d1. I mean, you cannot go for that one. This queen d2. It's actually black wins here. Yeah, maybe this is the only way to play the draw, but I was not prepared for a draw. There's another move. Okay, so this is actually the... Yeah, it's actually a bad move. I had to do what? Bishop takes d4? That's what I had to do? Queen takes d4, and then rook d1. That's how I'm supposed to play? That's how I'm supposed to play, and this is actually good for white. Oh, it's bishop h5. And castling long. Bishop g6 and knight c3. That's actually deep stuff. Deep moves. I actually found it interesting that he found the best moves. I mean, this is actually knight takes d4 is a strong move, but it's not. I mean, this move is interesting. I mean, the computer doesn't like it so much. I felt like it was a good move. Queen takes d4, and I didn't feel like rook d1. Maybe this is because I still have the piece. So maybe I still have. I mean, I don't have the piece. Never mind. There's no piece. I don't take on g4. This check, I don't take on g4. And he takes on e2. Hold on a second. He takes on e2. Hold on a second, folks. So you take on d4. You do this. Rook d1. Check. King f1. And this is computer line. rook takes e2, and white is better. After bishop takes e2, bishop d7, king f2. So now we're up material, yeah, that makes sense. It feels like it's winning sometimes, but after the match, computer says the opposite. Yeah. I played horrible here, though. It sticks. Castles, and then bishop takes or something? Rook f2. Queen e3, and then bishop takes. I mean, that's... I mean, I saw this move, of course, but I wasn't a fan. And he's supposed to play this position. 2 double pawns, and that's how you play it. 2 double pawns. I mean, this position is kind of boring, though. Apparently here, rook takes is not good. And I know that queen takes f6 was a move. I mean, I knew this, but I actually feel like it's a draw. I mean, I've seen a draw like 3 times. This is actually a draw. The idea is very simple. You just play here, and actually, if you're not careful with queen e1, yeah, there was a queen e1 move. The idea is you take, that's checkmate. And if you're able to defend it somehow, you just take. You're done in exchange. Rook e2. Now this is a very, very strong game for black. I think that after queen e3, you do have to play king f1. And this actually feels like a draw because of queen e2. We repeat the same thing, queen e3. But I didn't feel like I should draw. I mean, I knew like queen takes f6 is closing into a draw. Now, bishop takes f6 is a try to win, but obviously it's losing. And it's funny that queen d2 was a strong move. I actually took a look at this move, but I did not feel like it's good enough. The point being is he's stopping this way, and he might bring his rook to e2 right away. So let's say you play rook b1, it's rook e2. This attack is huge. You don't have time for like queen g5 for rook f1. His attack is faster, and he gets to play his rook over here, rook e1. So king h1. He played rook e4, rook f. Maybe my opportunity was rook f1. It was between these 2 moves, rook f1. I mean, it makes sense rook f1 first, but h3 was a line. Rook f1 here, and here it didn't like rook c4. It wants queen d2. c3 is funny looking. I understand why c3, because he doesn't get to play rook c2. And then maybe we're able to play like bishop d4 somehow. And once you play queen d2, you just play bishop d4, yeah. So you're trying to get this in. Now that's a different position. Maybe this is a draw. Back. You're playing for a draw, not so much a win. I mean, if that's the case, I should have took a draw early. Like, I mean, if I'm fighting for a draw here, then I may as well take the draw around here, like queen takes f6. Like, this is an obvious draw. You don't play king f8, because this is actually where rook f1 comes in. I actually saw that and I felt like I was winning, close to winning. But I knew that I knew that he had queen e3. The back rank was an issue for white. But it's good game though. It's very good game, entertaining game. You know, win or lose is part of the game, but we are learning something as we go along. But that's actually the opening that I was talking about, knight e3, and so we could give this to the computer, like bishop takes e3. You can see the computer not a huge fan. Like, it's not a huge fan. It likes pawn takes d4, and usually I could do this on knight c6, queen e4, bishop e7, and I think bishop g5. That's what I do. That's my opening. And d5, then I take here. There's also knight takes here, and some kind of like queen f4, if I remember. So this is actually what I created. And I castle like long. So this is actually my opening. This is not the main opening, the main line actually. The main line is, I think it's d5. The point of my opening is d4. and something like here, knight f3, g3. It almost feels like I'm playing a Catalan, which is not. Then maybe it's bishop here, and the point is c3. The whole idea is to get my knight to c2, c6, knight e1, rook e8, knight d3. That's actually the point of my opening. The point is the knight is never active on e3, but what I created is like some kind of a maneuver, and that's the reason why I called it a maneuver. Is actually the knight maneuvering from a3 to all the way d3, and then I could fight on e5, like getting the knight on e5. It's playable. I mean, I haven't like really lost heavily against it or anything, but this is an opening that I created. It's on my YouTube channel here. You could look over like some other lines. And once you reach, you could see the computer evaluation is like equal. Like it's not as bad as people think it is. It's better than the cow, right? The cow opening. But yeah, I mean, it's that, maybe black is active in most lines, like slightly active, but it's not like it's losing position for white. So the point is, this opening is just simply get the knight on d3 and you just activate it in a better square. But obviously there's different lines where e5 is completely different, right? It's not as easy to get knight d3 in this line, and that's the reason why I recommend this one. This is entirely different. This one, maybe it's fun to play. I actually like playing this for the white side because, you do castle like this is all easy to remember. I remember in the database when I was creating this from scratch, I don't think d4 was the move, or I think it's not common. I think it's usually it's c4. This is now the sodium attack. I'm not sure where's the attack here to begin. I mean, c4 is an attack, who knows? But that's the sodium. I never get to play c4. C4 is like the sodium. D4 marks my opening, and this one marks my my openings, like knight f3. This has been played before, I think, but the idea is not, you get to play knight e1, knight d3. That has never been played before. It almost feels like you're playing a Catalan again, and you could play anything. White could play even knight c6, which is just not the best anyway. And this sometimes I play bishop f4, so I could stop e5 break. Bishop g4, knight c2, and again, this idea is to get knight e1, knight d3. Yeah. I mean, it's not my. Yeah, what I'm saying about the sodium attack is. The name is I'm having an issue with. I actually was playing David Howell not long ago, and he played c6, I played b3, and I never knew that the name of this opening. It's Iwi attack. I mean, that's actually kind of like a weird nonsense attack, and he called this Iwi attack. It reminds me by the Cozy attack was the Petrov, queen e2, you trade queens, and this is actually some kind of an attack. It almost feels like the game is like ended in like a couple of moves. You could, it's a draw by default, and you call this an attack. The problem is not the position itself. I mean, you could argue that knight e3 is playable. I mean, and this is still like a playable opening. We could make it work. Aragaisi and Nakamura. I don't think Nakamura plays it. Aragaisi played it, and also Nakamura. I'm not Nakamura. Magnus played it. But yes. But the point being is, when I was looking at the database, I just needed to play something different because c4 is just a sodium all day long. d4 is my opening, so I just needed to find something that it marks mine and that doesn't mark like somebody else's opening. But the names are off, of course. At least my name was opening makes a little bit of sense maneuvering the knight. So it has a meaning toward toward the opening itself. All right, folks, we're gonna stop here. I do stream twice a day, possible most of the time. I mean, I'm back to doing 2 streams. So we are doing YouTube first with Lead Chess. Sometimes it could be chess.com. We do, like rapid games, explaining the moves as I go along. It's learning experience, entertaining for some of you. It should be. I mean, is it entertaining or not? We'll see. We could compete for the exhibition. And the Twitch is more like puzzles, bullet games, blitz games. So it's like a different content. You know, I don't want to like have the same, you know, the same stuff. So YouTube is for one thing, Twitch is for another thing. So we could divide the two contents in a different way. Sometimes people do multi-stream, like they have the same stuff here, same stuff here. Most streamers doing this, but you know, I'm trying to like do it differently so it doesn't become boring. And multi-stream is also put some strain on your computer anyway. And you know, what's the point if I could see the same thing in here and here? I mean, I try to divide things so it would make sense to tune in on YouTube and then tune in to like Twitch for different stuff, you know. I also do like Crazy House, maybe Bug House coming in. You know, you had a 24, yeah. Sometimes I do Bug House as well. Bug House, and you know, it has been Crazy House that I've been playing, but I do this in Twitch as well. So, all right, folks. Henry and everybody else, thank you for tuning in, folks. We'll be back later tonight with Twitch, maybe Puzzle Rush. We'll see. We could do some puzzles and we could compete. My rating is back to 28 in bullets. We are increasing the rating. Don't be surprised if it goes higher even than 28. So that being said, I will see you guys later today. Thank you for tuning in again. Thank you, Henry. Where is my stuff? All right. I found my way out. See you guys later today. Take care.